Oh,
What happened in
starting with
Melbourne is outrageous.
another place of worship under attack. This time, Jews targeted in shocking Melbourne synagogue arson attack. Let's have a look. All right. So early morning worshippers narrowly escaped the blaze as one of Australia's busiest synagogues becomes the target of hate. The arson attack took place at the Adas Israel Synagogue in Ripponlea, sorry if I said that wrong, in Melbourne. And worshippers were actually inside, which is terrifying. Emergency services were alerted to the fire at the Glen Eira Road Synagogue around 4:20 a.m. We have our Avi Yemini is out there. Perhaps we should just play that clip and see what he had to say from the scene.
Jacinda, why are you running away from the tough question? Why are you running away? Like a coward. No Jew can believe you're going to keep him safe. You came for a photo op.
Today I spent the entire day at the site of the Melbourne Synagogue, which was firebombed overnight. I have a full report coming over the weekend. But for now, I want you to watch and share what happened when the Victorian Premier came shamelessly for a photo op and a press conference at the burnt place of worship, but was met with real journalism. Then make sure to head to protectthejews.com.au and sign my new petition, Standing with the Australian Jewish Community.
What would you say to a big proportion of the Jewish community that blame you personally for not acting on anti-Semitism properly until now? For the last year, we've seen this. We've seen protests outside synagogue. Even in the last week, it's taken a synagogue to be burned down for you to come here and make a statement.
Well, over the past 14 months, we have seen how conflict, and this is something that is conflict over the past 14 months, has brought conflict to the streets of Melbourne, the streets of Sydney, to many parts of the Western world. And my focus over that period of time has been to support members of the Jewish community who I know from speaking to so many personally are grieving that conflict in the Middle East, as so many other people around the world are. So my focus is on the Jewish community, is providing the support. That is why we are here today, pledging that $100,000 commitment to get the ball rolling on rebuilding this place of worship and sending a very clear message, like we are with the legislation that's in the Victorian Parliament, that this sort of evil act has no place here in this state.
Why haven't you done anything for the year and a half till this happened? Why did it have to take a burning of a synagogue?
My focus today is on supporting the Jewish community.
Avi, can I just ask a quick question? Jacinta, you mentioned that you're going to increase police patrols and you're going to increase your presence. Is that not a sign that you've lost control in this state and the Jewish community are now under real threat, and that your government has ultimately failed? And let's be clear, in November 2023, there was an attack in the synagogue, and the Summary Offences Act gave Victoria Police the ability to charge them under that act, a very low threshold, but you didn't use it. And had you done that, we wouldn't be here today. So let's stop with the politics and let's get a short, sharp, straight answer. Have you lost control? Have you lost control, yes or no?
I will take advice from Victoria Police. I will take the advice from the Victoria Police and the Chief Commissioner, who advises me that in terms of acts of violence, they have the tools and the powers to investigate and prosecute people.
So
it would be
you've lost control. You've lost control.
It would be deeply inappropriate.
You played politics, and this is the consequence.
Premier, why should the Jewish community, Premier, why should the Jewish community...
To the gentleman who was there. Just calm down? Yeah, thank you. We just take our time.
Premier...
Excuse me, sir. Thank you.
It's okay. She's the Premier. I think she can handle it. Premier, why should Jews now trust that you're going to keep them safe when you failed a year and a half?
Can you just step back?
I understand she doesn't want to answer it.
No, the cameras.
I don't know who you are. Jacinda. Jacinda, we understand the questions got tough, but how can the Jewish community believe that you're going to keep them safe when you failed for a year and a half? Jacinda, we understand it's easier to run away, but what would you say to the Jewish community for them to believe that you could keep them safe since you failed them for a year and a half? Look at that. What are you doing? Why are you blocking my way, mate? Jacinda, why are you running away from the tough question? Why are you running away?
You can do copy paste on what is going on in Canada, like especially like in Montreal, we see like some protests in front of synagogue. We have seen so many churches burning down over here, and what the mayor and what the politicians are doing, just like, oh, we are condemning it, but nothing else. Like,
Yeah.
it's empty words.
Yeah, we're supposed to have freedom of religion, and you're right. If you're allowing these protests to happen, and things can get heated, things can get riled up, and this happens. Speaking about how unsafe it is, the emergency services were alerted to the fire. Oh, I already read that. Let me scroll down. Sorry. One of the board members of the synagogue recounted the terrifying moments leading up to the blaze. So this is what I meant by somebody being in there. It says around 4:15 a.m., two people inside heard banging on the door. They saw people throw liquid inside and light it on fire. The two guests had to run out the back door. One of them got burns on his hands. So this is some serious stuff. And Alexa, you mentioned the churches, for example, burning across the country. I think the most recent took place in Quebec, that beautiful church that I don't remember the year. I think it first came around 1917, burnt. And I think that's around the 103rd church to be burnt or vandalized across the country since 2021. So, I mean, this is, I hate to say it, but it's almost becoming more normalized, and it's targeted against, when you look at Canada, we're founded on Judeo-Christian values, and it seems to be that these things are targeted in those areas. Jacinta running away there from the question about why are you waiting, it did remind me, it took me to a flashback. I think I put the link, sorry, my headphones aren't working very good. I put a link in the chat of when the church burning spree first started in Canada, and it was around the 20 church mark. It started in British Columbia, if everybody remembers, after the false claim that 215 Indigenous children's remains had been found at the Kamloops Indian Residential School. So I actually posed the question to the then Premier, now late Premier at the time, John Horgan and Trudeau, to try to get answers from them, because when I tried a couple of weeks earlier, Trudeau's RCMP goons had sort of tossed me away. But a clip of just how they run away, but yet they come for their photo ops at these things, like, oh, I care so much.
In Ontario, will you call it hate and terrorism to attack Christian places of worship, Prime Minister? We are being persecuted!
I got a little passionate there.
Since Trudeau chose to smugly acknowledge the hate involved when someone is lighting churches on fire with families inside of it, we now have learned that the CBC report that stated that the family was in there during the time of the attempted arson was not the case. It was actually just the father, but nevertheless, this is the Prime Minister not caring either way.
Are you struggling to figure out what to buy your loved ones this Christmas? Look no further. RebelNewsStore.com has the perfect gifts for the freedom lovers in your family. Whether it's Convoy Christmas, Canadian Christmas, or my personal favorite, all I want for Christmas is a new Prime Minister. Can I get an amen?
There will be consequences.
We have so much, including the classics that your loved ones can wear all year long, like our Rebel gears, our Hey, we are ungovernable, and another one of my favorites, Trudeau Castro. So head to rebelnewsstore.com and use the code RebelChristmas to save 15% today. Merry Christmas!